Former Coronation Street star Kim Marsh has landed a role in a bold reimagining of an iconic 1990s thriller. The actor, who played Michelle Connor on the ITV soap, has joined the cast for Single White Female, a stage adaptation of the 1992 psychological thriller film of the same name, which itself was based on John Lutz's 1990 novel SWF Seeks Same. Written by Rebecca Reed and directed by Gordon Greenberg, the latest retelling sees Marsh portray Allie, a recently divorced mother who is balancing her role as a single parent alongside the launch of her technology startup. Needing funds, Allie advertises for a lodger, with the delightful Hetty soon offering her a lifeline. Things take a turn, however, as their lives become intertwined, with boundaries becoming blurred, as the seemingly perfect arrangement begins to unravel. I am so excited to be bringing this brilliant, brand new and thrilling play to theaters across England, Scotland, Wales and Ireland, said Marsh, who currently plays Nikki Walters on Waterloo Road. I remember being totally gripped by the movie when I first saw it in the cinema and could never have imagined back then that I'd be starring in the world premiere of its life on stage. Get ready to be thrilled, shocked and entertained, and watch out for those stiletto heels. Billed as a sharp and suspenseful tale full of dark humor, the play has updated the original story to reflect the digital age, creating a gripping production revolving around ambition, obsession, and the desperate need for belonging in an isolated world. The play is currently slated to premiere at Theatre Royal Brighton on the 9th of January 2026, stopping off in various cities across the UK and Ireland before its final performance at the Festival Theatre in Malvern on the 13th of June 2026. The iconic 1992 film, written by Don Roos and directed by Barbette Schroeder, starred Bridget Fonda and Jennifer Jason Leigh in the leading roles, with the thriller becoming a box office success after grossing $84.1 million worldwide against a budget of $16 million. To the stage, Kim Marsh headlines gripping reimagining of 90s thriller Single White Female. Soap legend Kim Marsh, once a staple of the Coronation Street cobbles as the sharp-tongued and resilient Michelle Connor, is about to swap Weatherfield's drama for something even darker. The beloved British actor and singer is stepping into thrilling new territory, a bold, electrifying stage adaptation of the iconic 1992 psychological thriller Single White Female. The production, which promises to be one of the most talked about theater tours of 2026, is a reimagining of the cult classic, and Kim is at its center, bringing both gravitas and vulnerability to a gripping new version of the twisted tale of obsession, deception, and unraveling identities. A thrilling new chapter for Kim Marsh. Fans have followed Kim Marsh's multifaceted career for decades, from her chart-topping days in Hearsay to her award-winning performance on Coronation Street, and more recently in BBC's Waterloo Road. But this latest venture, a psychological stage thriller dripping in tension, represents an exciting departure from the roles she's most associated with. Taking on the lead role of Allie, Marsh portrays a recently divorced mother attempting to rebuild her life, all while juggling the high-stakes launch of a tech startup and raising a child on her own. But as her character reaches out for support by advertising for a lodger, what initially seems like a saving grace slowly morphs into a waking nightmare. From film noir to digital danger. The original Single White Female, released in 1992 and based on John Lutz's novel SWF Seeks Same, became an instant sensation. Directed by Barbette Schroeder and written by Don Roos, the film starred Bridget Fonda as the unsuspecting protagonist and Jennifer Jason Leigh as her increasingly unstable roommate. The story tapped into deep cultural fears of invasion, duplicity, and fractured identity, becoming a box office hit that earned over $84 million worldwide. In this new stage adaptation, written by Rebecca Reed and directed by the visionary Gordon Greenberg, the story has been modernized for a digital audience. Gone is the analog anonymity of newspaper ads, replaced with the unsettling proximity of technology, where online profiles blur truth, fiction, and motive. This isn't just a remake, director Greenberg explains. It's a bold reinvention that takes the essence of what made the original story so thrilling, and reinterprets it for a world where our lives are lived online, our boundaries are more fragile than ever, and loneliness can become dangerous. The production promises an edge-of-your-seat experience, infused with dark humor, razor-sharp dialogue, and moments of genuinely disorienting tension. Allie and Hetty, a dangerous bond. Marsh's Allie is a character shaped by emotional vulnerability and ambition. She's not a damsel in distress, she's a woman trying to build something in the wake of personal upheaval. Recently divorced, trying to launch a startup, and raising a child, her resilience is matched only by her desperation. When the charming and seemingly perfect Hetty enters the scene as a potential lodger, Allie breathes a sigh of relief. At first, Hetty is everything she could hope for, kind, helpful, enthusiastic. But as the days go by, something sinister begins to stir beneath the surface. Hetty becomes more than a house guest, she becomes a shadow, Reed says of her script. This is a story about how quickly trust can be weaponized, and how the line between friend and threat can vanish when we're at our most vulnerable. As Hetty's obsession deepens, the boundaries between the two women blur dangerously. The play's psychological edge intensifies as their lives intertwine, and Allie begins to realize that the person she invited into her home might be dismantling her life from the inside out. Get ready to be shocked. For Kim Marsh, this production is more than just another job, it's a full-circle moment, tied to her own memories of the original film. I am so excited to be bringing this brilliant, brand new, and thrilling play to theaters across England, Scotland, Wales, and Ireland, Marsh said in a press release. I remember being totally gripped by the movie when I first saw it in the cinema and could never have imagined back then that I'd be starring in the world premiere of its life on stage. With a grin, she added a cheeky warning for fans. Get ready to be thrilled, shocked, and entertained, and watch out for those stiletto heels. Her excitement is evident, and it's clear that Marsh is pouring heart and soul into the role. Known for her ability to portray strength and emotional complexity in equal measure, she's the ideal actor to bring Allie's psychological descent to life on stage. A tour worth watching. The Single White Female Tour will begin its run at the Theatre Royal Brighton on the 9th of January 2026, setting the stage, literally, for what promises to be one of the most intense theatrical experiences of the year. From there, the show will travel to major cities across the UK and Ireland, with its final performance at the Festival Theatre in Malvern on the 13th of June 2026. The production is already generating buzz for its suspenseful atmosphere and bold thematic exploration of isolation, obsession, and fractured identity in the digital age. We've seen a resurgence of psychological thrillers in theater, says director Greenberg. Audiences are hungry for stories that make them feel something visceral. This play isn't just exciting, it's relevant. It taps into something all too familiar about how disconnected modern life can be. From soap stardom to theater triumph, Kim Marsh has long proven her range. From the high drama of Coronation Street to the realism of Waterloo Road, she's carved out a career defined by versatility. Her move into live theater, especially in such an intense and emotionally demanding role, shows an artist refusing to stand still. Her performance as Michelle Connor earned her accolades and the adoration of millions. But this next chapter in her career may just be her most artistically ambitious to date. Allie's journey is about control, and what happens when it slips away, Marsh reflected during an early promotional interview. There's something terrifyingly human about that. I think a lot of people will see parts of themselves in this story. A story for our time. While the original Single White Female tapped into early 90s anxieties about identity, urban life, and female autonomy, this reimagined version updates the fear for a new era. Now, obsession isn't just about physical presence, it's digital. The blurred line between real and performative identity, the way social media can both connect and isolate, the invasion of personal space through devices and data. This adaptation reflects the psychological tension of our hyperconnected age. Yet, at its core, the play is still about two women, one searching for stability, and the other slowly becoming a threat disguised as a savior. It's a parable, says writer Rebecca Reed. About loneliness, ambition, and what happens when the person you trust most is also your greatest danger. Final thoughts. Kim Marsh in her element. As the lights rise on the first performance in Brighton in January 2026, all eyes will be on Kim Marsh. Her portrayal of Allie, a woman standing at the edge of a personal cliff, will not only showcase her incredible range but reaffirm why she remains one of Britain's most beloved and fearless performers. For audiences, Single White Female is more than a night at the theater. It's a pulse-pounding exploration of modern fear, of emotional vulnerability, and the dangers that lurk in plain sight. And for Kim Marsh, it's a daring leap, not into the unknown, but into the thrilling world of stagecraft, where danger is just a heartbeat away, and every look, every pause, every silence speaks volumes. Get ready. The woman you think you know might not be who she seems.